Ladies and gentlemen, I am an ex-environmental activist, and I really understand why you might have got caught up with this lot. I know I used to be caught up with them myself. And I know that you mean really well. I really understand that. I know that many of you are... Would I like to talk to you? No, I'm talking to the people with a megaphone. Is that not okay?
But there's no one here with a megaphone.
So what if there's no one here with a megaphone? I'm here with a megaphone, and there's other people have been in various protests with megaphones. Why are you being so aggressive? I'm just having a little chat with some people here. Are you the boss around here? What do you mean I don't have a chat with a megaphone? Yes, I do. I'm doing it right now. That's what I'm doing. People use megaphones at protests, and that's what I'm doing. And I am an ex-activist, so I understand. What I was trying to say is that I do understand how easy it is to feel so desperate that you get involved in a rather strange cult that is denying the reality of our own mortality. I mean, you're rebelling against mortality. It's ridiculous. We're all going to die. Why are you trying to rebel against it? You're rebelling against reality. I understand. I used to do it myself. Don't get me wrong. I'm no better than anybody else. But what exactly are you doing here? You can't do anything about climate change, you doctors. I'm worried about you. You're actually professional doctors, and you're standing here with a sign which is probably got here using fossil fuel, yeah? You're standing there with a sign like that, thinking that this is how life works. Do you think George Soros or any other people who are like trillionaires are looking down thinking, oh no, look, we've got a bunch of doctors with a sign. Let's abandon capitalism because a couple of people are on a bridge with a sign.
Kids.
I should go home. And many of you are still eating meat. You guys are still eating meat, some of you. How can you be here if you're still eating meat? You say you won't be complicit. The youth are not complicit in fossil fuels. Yes, you are. Your phones are made out of fossil fuels. All the stuff you eat gets here via fossil fuels. What are you talking about? We're all complicit in it.
Extinction Rebellion! Extinction Rebellion! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like!
Is this what democracy looks like? I don't think I want democracy. Oh my God, is this what democracy looks like? Someone's shouting something and everybody repeating it. It's more like Life of Brian. Right, everybody repeat after me. I will not be told what to do. Boring. I mean, why don't you argue with some of the arguments I'm making rather than just shouting me down and saying boring? I mean, I know it's a bit embarrassing, but you really haven't thought this through properly, have you guys? Because think, how exactly is this going to change climate change? This is not going to help. All it's doing is blocking the road. And so what? All it means is that these policemen get a nice day out in the sunshine and get paid for it. They're the only sane people here. Seriously. I mean, seriously, have you spoken to your psychotherapist about this, guys?
I'm a psychologist.
You're a psychologist?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's true what they say about psychologists. 99% of them give the other 1% a bad name. I wonder which percentage you're in. What on earth are you doing here? You're a psychologist? Why are you trying to change something that you can't change?
Why are you trying to change us? Why are you trying to change us doing
Why am I trying to change you? I'm not trying to change you. I don't really care if you do that. I'm just wondering, what on earth are you doing? I mean, you can't change climate change, can you? What's your name? Do you mind my asking? I'm Danny.
Why are you here?
What's your name?
Why are you here?
No, what's your name? I'm Danny. What's your name?
I don't want to give you my...
Oh, just say make up one then, don't worry. You don't have to.
You can make up whatever name you want to. Make up whatever name you want.
Do you actually think that you can make a difference to the climate? You, Jim.
As an individual.
As an individual, no.
As a collective.
As a collective.
As a collective.
No. We're not a collective. We're just you. It's just you. I'm asking you. Yeah. Imagine we were talking. I was your therapist, and I said to you, "Listen, do you think that you can make any difference to climate change?" And you said yes. I mean, I'm worried about you. If you're meant to be a psychologist, come on. I mean, can somebody here from Extinction Rebellion please explain to me how what you are doing is going to make a blind bit of difference? Because because when I get up in the morning, I've started asking myself, is what I'm doing trying to change something I cannot change, and am I trying to avoid changing the things I can? That's what I ask myself. So I just find this behaviour of yours so very interesting for our YouTube channel. Why are you doing this? What's going on? Why don't you just answer the question? Do you want to answer the question? There are people watching. Do you want to answer? I don't know why you're taking this personally. I used to be an activist myself. Sorry, can you leave the bicycle alone, please? Excuse me, sir. What's that? It's in the way of traffic. Oh, you're so worried about the traffic all of a sudden, right? I mean, seriously, guys, the signs are made of stuff that's been, everything's got fossil fuel in it. I mean, how is this going to work? Can someone please explain to me? So, is there a volunteer that can just take me through the logical steps that start with Lambeth Bridge, a few doctors and other people, randoms, sitting in the road, and just get me through to that, to doing something about climate change? Can someone please tell me? Anybody here? What's that? Can you tell me, sir? Anybody, any representatives can tell me? Maybe the police officers, can you tell me exactly how this is going to affect the climate? Have you got any ideas, guys? I should try waterboarding them? What for? They don't need waterboarding, although it might wake them up a little bit and then, realise that this isn't going to make any difference, is it, really? And what's going on here, doctors, sorry I have to tell you, is that what you're actually doing here is you're doing the work of George Soros and all the rich people. George Soros has got all these organisations all over the world, yeah, with his Open Society Foundation, right? And he's not an idiot. I mean, just imagine, while you sit there, I invite you to close your eyes and imagine you've got a whole fleet of jets, yeah? You're so rich that Elon Musk and Bill Gates are your servants, right? And you have a hotline to all the world leaders, yeah? You're super rich, like George Soros or someone like that, right? And just imagine, and you think somehow, from his point of view, if he was to see this particular spectacle right now, do you think he'd just say, all right then, yeah, you're right, let's end fossil fuels, that will do it? And do you think if he did that, do you think that would just solve all our problems? Or do you think maybe it's a little bit more complicated than that? Do you think so, doctors? Because if this is why I'm worried about you. Should you be allowed to be in charge of the health of our nation, if you're so deluded that you think sitting on Lambeth Bridge is going to make a blind bit of difference to climate change? Now, come on, doctors, you're scientists. Please take me through the science. Explain. Doctor, you, number one here, you look very intelligent. This lady here. Please take me through how what you are doing is going to affect climate change. You want me to get off the megaphone? Oh, I'm so sorry. No. This is my part. This is the tool of my trade. Yes. That's right, I do have a bit of a problem with addiction to attention. Sorry about that. It's all to do with my childhood, I admit. But anyway, but it's just my style. You get used to it eventually. The only thing I would say to you, by the way, Doctor, is that if this is a bit annoying, yeah, just thank your lucky stars you're not my wife. So can you just take me through that? Do you mind? Just take me through how this is going to work. Okay, step one, we dress up as doctors and we sit in Lambeth Bridge Road except when ambulances come by. Yeah? Step two, let's go. Anybody here was going for step two? Yeah, thank you so much for doing what you're doing, sitting on Lambeth Bridge. I mean, thank you so much. It's really going to help. Can you please explain to me, why are you thanking them for doing this? What do you mean? Listen, I'm not trying to be mean to you, But sometimes you have to give people tough love. Why are you saying thank you? What exactly are they doing? Other than sitting there, well dressed as doctors, smiling with a couple of signs. Some of which really haven't had much effort put into them, have they, guys? Scribbled down there like that. That's all you could come up with. Look at you, number 2 over there. Look, capitals in the first line, then a mixture of capitals and small letters. What's going on here? I worry about you guys. I really, really worry about you. Because, you know, all of this time could be spent
doing this. Yeah. You could all be doing this, guys. It would be...
All of this time could be spent doing what I'm doing, absolutely, and it would make just as much difference to the climate.
We want the National Health Service! Yeah. We don't want it privatised by the Americans!
Oh, okay, fair enough. So some random bloke doesn't want the National Health Service to be privatised to the Americans. Do you think Boris Johnson can hear you right now, and do you think he cares what you want? If you shout loud enough, hopefully they won't sell it off to the Americans. Go on, just a bit more.
Maybe if you
What is going on here, guys? It's like an asylum in here. Or is it just me? Is it just me? Or is it everybody else? It's me.
I'm Dan Austin. You know, if you talk to people like this, and if you just want to have a negative effect, you know, people are looking for solutions. Even if, you know, what you see here today is just people who can't actually give you like an articulate answer to your criticisms, that people do feel stronger in solidarity en masse. Now, obviously, you know, you raise the question of, you know, subdiffusion, people being infiltrated. But
the whole thing has been infiltrated because we all know that this is not going to do anything, right? So what the hell are they doing there? If this is not going to do anything, then they are suffering from some kind of delusion. They're literally deluded. They think that this is going to do anything. It's just complete not true. I mean, the only thing it's going to do is give the government more reason to have more powers. That's it. The only thing it's going to do is distract people from the central bank digital currency, which is being done in the background, which is the biggest organised crime of all time. That is the biggest organised crime of all time. Do you know why?
It does seem to be.
Do you know why that is such a crime? Do you know why that's such a crime? Because if I did it, to you, if I turned you into my slave, if I decided what you were allowed to do with your money, if I decided all of a sudden took control and said, you know, you have to give me some of your money and I'll just take it and I'm going to keep an eye on everything you own and I'm going to, you know, if I did that, I'd be a flipping criminal and put away. That's what the central banks are going to do. That's what the people who run the central banks are planning right now, And while these people here, right, well-meaning people here, sit here like, I just, you know, sit here doing this nonsense,
But I mean,
well, that is happening, and at the same time, it does. It really does. It really does. It really does because if you, the thing is, if you want to worry about something, this is just nonsense. You know full well this is just nonsense, right? And it's distracting us from what is coming up and from what maybe you might be able to do something about. Furthermore, you know, the things that we can do some things about are ourselves, and that's it.
But people can do that together. I mean, you know, maybe this is a misguided expression, you know, of the people. You could argue that.
Yes.
There's a lot of hostility towards, you know, the fiat currency right now, and we, you know, see change with cryptocurrency and encryption. And whatever NFTs is, I think people have the wrong idea about NFTs being something to be made money out of. It seems to be something more interesting regarding being able to make concrete certain. I'm not sure, but it seems people only seem to be trying to make money out of it. You know, there's always got any kind of innovation with technology. People try to make money out of it, rather than actually how can this be served and what utility does it have, which kind of is encouraging because any kind of innovation throws things into flux and there's chaos. And usually what I see right now, at least, is a competition between private equity firms trying to see how they can exploit this, and just say, okay, how can we use this, and how can we, have this revolving door of the finance sector and politics, and how can it be utilised to their advantage? And then the opposite side, which is always going to be anti-power, anti-centralisation.
But these people aren't even speaking about decentralisation. They're not even speaking about it. They're not speaking about the system and how, of ownership and all the stories around it. They're not speaking about that at all, because this is why the fact that the reason why they're here is because they are serving the establishment. That's what they're doing without realising it. They're useful idiots. I'm really sorry, and I don't judge them for it. I don't judge them for it. I don't judge them for it. Right? It's not. If I was in their shoes, I'd do the same thing. And it wasn't that long ago that I would be, vulnerable to this type of stuff. It was all, I was into New Age stuff, and it's all very nice, and they do their clapping hands, and they do all their hand signals and all this nonsense. I mean, seriously, they're literally, to me, it's a form of insanity. They need to sit down, cup of tea. Now they're there. Unfortunately, you are going to die. This planet's going to die. We're on the Titanic. Yeah, might as well enjoy it. There's nothing you and I can do about this. This is a ship that's sailing away. And it's a system that's, it's already it's already basically on its way to being controlled by artificial intelligence. We're already being, we're already in an age of where we're influenced by artificial intelligence, and soon it won't be long before
social engineering.
Who
knows? I mean,
well, this is social engineering. You see, I think this is social engineering.
I mean,
look at them. They got their flags and then notices, and they're all It's just like.
I kind of have to push back, and I kind of think, what schema are we looking at things? Because there's different ways to look at reality. Obviously we're, you and I are talking as a one-to-one, but obviously that's a group over there. And then when you talk about, the George Soros and the deep state, which is, an even tinier number of people really have, inordinate amount of power. It still is that question of, okay, there's a lot of hostility towards them because because they're hidden, because otherwise they would need to justify their power if they were out in the open. They would say, okay, why do you have all this power? We didn't elect you. Who are you? And especially for the younger generation, that can happen. But I think the first thing needs to happen is that we need to have freedom of speech, and that reduction in monopolies of whatever the countervailing, whatever the dominant narratives are, which is, why we see this weird behaviour of people I talk to who are on social media all the time, where it seems to be people who are who've cut out completely for their own mental health or sanity, because they feel like they're too locked in this maelstrom of the online kind of hullabaloo and jingoism and nationalism and all these kind of new sort of forms of groupthink. And then people who just want to sort of go back to books, go completely offline, talk to people one-to-one. So, the kind of change I'm seeing in my lifetime, I mean, I didn't grow up with the internet. I'm trying to talk to people, because for the youth, their problem seems to be excessive social media usage, and then their behaviour being co-opted by maybe AI or algorithms online. That's the fear I have, especially with my friends younger than me, all the time online, without, talking to people. In reality, they're in their own little kind of like Discord group hubs, without any kind of sense of talking to people outside of their, social group. And then people who are of a certain age where either they're institutionalised, they work, and they feel frustrated, but they want to pay bills to their family and provide. At the same time, very dangerous thing to give up on things like hope and then antipathy. Antipathy obviously is a coping mechanism. You know, otherwise, antipathy. You know, people obviously is a coping mechanism. Otherwise, people go insane. You know, I kind of want to shut off from the news. It's like it's all too much.
Why don't you?
I do.
I haven't watched the news for years.
You know,
I don't take that seriously. It's not the news, by the way.
2-3 days.
What do you think it is? Why do you call it the news?
Well, I don't really watch the BBC or kind of you know, the mainstream anymore.
Yeah, but why do you think any of it's news?
I don't think it is.
No,
I think I think, as you said, it's distraction.
Correct.
You know, maybe we should have a return to, you know, micro to macro sort of like, you know, news items from, you know, community-based projects. There seems to be some movement in that, but it's not really given much publicity or marketed because they don't have money. You know, they're not a corporation.
Yeah,
they don't have shareholders.
More money in war.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's interesting possibilities, but there seems to be, you know, the online infrastructure seems to be there to act as a catalyst, but only if there's will from people. At the end of the day.
Okay, let me just see what's going on here.
You can do, but I'm going to speak to you now because the officers are coming in. So, conditions under Section 14 of the Public Order Act are going to come in now. And essentially what that will mean is that you must leave the bridge immediately. Conditions are imposed at 1700. Okay, pass now. Right. Other officers are going to come in and explain that to you. Alright, and they will explain one-to-one directly.
So here we are on Lambeth Bridge, where it appears that a huge number of police officers are
Doctors, please think about this. How will you getting arrested make any difference to climate change? It won't. All it will be is spending time in a cell by yourself, which maybe is a good idea, maybe. And then you can think about what on earth you're doing here and why you're blocking the road for no good reason. Please think carefully, use your logical brain that got you into medical school to just think about how exactly it's going to help anybody for you to get arrested for this. It will help nobody at all other than maybe Her Majesty's coffers as she gets a few quid off you and gives you a criminal record. Which quite frankly you kind of deserve for being so silly to get yourselves arrested. How is this going to help? Come on, get up. Just because everybody else is sitting down doesn't mean you should. This is groupthink. This is a form of mind control. Come, be individuals. Someone, surely, get up and realise that this doesn't make any sense at all and that you are not doing anything for the environment by sitting in the road.
What's that? The IPCC report says we need to be taking corrective action.
The IPCC report says this is exactly what you're meant to be doing. I don't care what report says anything. You have not told me, one second. You have not told me how these people sitting and getting arrested is going to make any difference to climate change. Can you please tell me? You haven't, and nobody here has.
Why are you talking through that?
Why am I talking through this? Because I like talking through this. It's a hobby of mine for about 13 years, and I'm quite famous on YouTube, and I'm really upset that you've never heard of me. No, I'm just kidding.
Right, okay.
I'm not that famous, but you know.
What's your expertise?
What's my expertise? I'm a doctor.
What sort of doctor?
I'm a doctor of you know, the mind.
Right, okay.
One of those.
Right, okay.
A psychiatrist, and I'm actually going to go back to work shortly at the hospital.
Okay, right.
So I help people like you,
Right.
you know, not just people really.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Right.
So anyway,
So do you think these people they're kind of ill and they need
I
help?
think these people are really are deluded if they think that by getting arrested they're going to actually make any difference to climate change, doctors or not. I mean, seriously, unless you can explain to me how the mechanism works from getting arrested, well, I'm asking you because you seem to think that this is a good idea. I have asked them. Can you tell me, anybody here, how you getting arrested is going to do anything good for anyone at all? It's just going to be a hassle. I'm telling you.
All I can hear is you talking, not them.
Yes, go on. I'm waiting. Does anybody please? Can anybody here tell me why getting arrested is a good idea? How is it going to help anything?
All we're hearing is your voice, not theirs.
Well, they're not talking, are they?
Well, it's because you've got your mouth.
No, it's not because, look, I've given them a few seconds. Okay, I'll give them 30 seconds.
To do what?
to answer. Well, no, I've asked them already.
Have you really? Do you really want to know what they think?
Yeah, I would like to know, yeah.
To have a chat with them?
No, it's fine. I'll do it from here like this.
But you don't
Yeah,
really want to have a chat?
yeah, no. Or why doesn't someone just speak out loud?
If you're interested.
It's fine, no.
But you know.
No. I've asked them. I'm asking them, one of them, to be brave and just put your hands up and explain to me how you getting arrested is going to affect the climate. I'm just asking you just a logical question. Please, take me through the steps. You get arrested, yeah? You get locked up, right? You get maybe charged and maybe you don't. You may get a criminal record, yeah? How is that going to affect the climate?
Have you heard of civil disobedience? Have you ever heard of that?
Have I heard of civil disobedience? Yes, I've heard of it.
Have you ever,
Yes.
Has it ever made any
I mean,
change?
just saying civil disobedience, come on, don't believe Roger Hallam's nonsense. He really is absolute nonsense. No, never mind you calling it, you can call it what you like. Just take me through the logic of how these people getting arrested is going to make a blind bit of difference.